Well, today we're going to take a look at the New Testament, so let's dive right in. First you have the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Matthew, Mark, and Luke are sometimes called the Synoptic Gospels. Syn, S-Y-N, together, optic, seen together. Because these three books really record the same events together, and so you have the Synoptic Gospels. After the Gospels you have the book of Acts, which was also written by Luke. So Luke and Acts really were kind of one book. And Acts talks about the early church, the coming of the Holy Spirit on the day of Pentecost, and the growth of the church, and it ends with the Apostle Paul. So the book of Acts recounts the history of the early church. Then after the book of Acts, we get into what is called the Pauline epistles. And that basically means these are a series of letters that were written by the Apostle Paul. An epistle is just another word for a letter. And so you have the letter to the church at Rome, Romans, the letters to the church at Corinth, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, the letter to the church at Galatia, Galatians, the letter to the church at Ephesus, Ephesians, the letter to the church of Philippi, Philippians, the letter to the church at Colossae, Colossians, the letter to the church at Thessalonica, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, the letter to Timothy, who was at Ephesus, and it's called 1st and 2nd Timothy, the letter to Titus, who was a co-worker of the Apostle Paul's, the letter to Philemon, who was a slave owner. It's a beautiful, touching letter, and then the book of Hebrews. Now, Hebrews is kind of debated as to who exactly wrote it. A lot of people believe Paul, some say Apollos. There's all sorts of theories. We don't know exactly who wrote Hebrews. Pretty good chance that it was probably Apollos or Paul. Most people side with Paul. So those are called the Pauline epistles. Then after that, you have a series called the general epistles. For example, James. James was the half-brother of Jesus. You have 1st and 2nd Peter. Again, these are written by the Apostle Peter. You have 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John, written by the Apostle John. He also wrote the Gospel of John, as well as Revelation. And then you have Jude, which was written by the half-brother of Jesus. And then the last book in the New Testament is called Revelation. That's our one prophetic book. So you have the four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You have a historical book, Acts. Then you have the Pauline letters, or Pauline epistles. Then you have the general epistles, or the general letters. And then you conclude with a book of prophecy called the book of Revelation. So there are 27 books in the New Testament. Stay tuned for the next video. We're going to talk to you about how do you look at a Bible passage, how do you study it. And so we're going to take a look at those things. Thanks for joining me today. We'll see you soon. See you on Wednesday. Don't forget, Psalm chapter 1, verse 1. Work on memorizing that, okay? God bless you, and look for those opportunities today.